Hello YouTube. I'm lucky enough today to be joined by Chris Anderson of the Huffington Post, probably one of the most prominent news websites in the world. And I was lucky enough, he came to my university in Taiwan, and I was lucky enough to catch him late at night to come on Roaming with Oranges and have a chat with us. Hello.
Hi.
So you started your journalistic career in Asia,
Yes.
I understand.
Yes.
How did you get into that? And why did you initially come to Asia and to the China Pacific region?
Well, I actually came to Asia because I was bored with my current profession and what I was doing before this. Directly out of college, I got a pretty decent job as a quality assurance engineer at an educational toy company in Silicon Valley. And I did that for 3 years and got really, really bored. You can only test toys for so long, really.
Yeah.
So it drives me nuts. And it wasn't really the progression I wanted to have, you know.
Yeah.
But you get comfortable and you kind of get into routine, and then before you know it, a couple years have passed. So I got tired of that, and I wanted to challenge. And at the time, this was in 2005 at the end, it seemed like Asia was as different of an experience as I could have from where I was living in California. Never lived overseas, so Shanghai seemed like a good place to go. It was very vibrant. A lot of change was happening at the time, still is.
What was it about China specifically that drew you? Because you could have gone to, I don't know, South Africa or to India or to South America.
To be perfectly honest, I play Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of buddies over Xbox Live around the world. One of those buddies actually lived in Shanghai. And he would talk about Shanghai being just an incredible city.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't considered it before he mentioned that. And so I said, okay, I'll look at that. So well, yeah, come out. You can. We have a room actually.
Yeah.
If you want to come and stay for a while and check it out.
Sick.
So I did, and he ended up being my roommate for the first year that I was there, along with his girlfriend at the time.
So it was basically like an online friendship kind of blossomed into an offline one.
It turned into an opportunity.
Awesome.
For me to travel the world, and I wouldn't have had that perspective had I not, met this guy over Xbox. So, you never know what kind of connection it's going to make.
You hear about these kinds of things happening a lot on social media, like you meet somebody over Facebook or over Twitter, and couch surfing has a huge kind of that community as well. Do you think that development of kind of global networks and social interaction between different cultures being facilitated, do you think that has made it easier for somebody to just say, bugger it, I'm going to uproot and I'm going to go to Beirut for a couple of years and see how that goes?
100%. 100%. I look at my experience, and had I not been connected with people around the world, had I not struck up a relationship through the internet, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. It just wouldn't happen. I wouldn't, if I was sitting there reading a newspaper, you can't make the same kind of personal connection you can with people. So, I did that, and I went to Shanghai, and then to get into what I'm doing now, I taught English for the first year. And
who didn't?
Yeah,
all of the Western guys in China have been teaching
who did?
English.
But it was such a, it's easy to get into, it's easy to do, it was a nice transition. I did that part-time, I did some freelancing, and then after the first year, I got a good feel for the city, for the country, and I knew that if my career was going to progress, I had to get into something.
Yeah.
And I got picked up with a small lifestyle publication, and just got loads of experience just in that year and a half that I worked for them.
It's a hard time for a lot of people around my age at the moment. I'm early 20s, if you can believe. I know I look about early 30s, but that's
You look
different
good.
stuff. Thank you so much, you
No
sweetheart.
problem.
If, for example, there's a 20-something-year-old kid who's just graduated university, isn't perhaps finding the kind of opportunities in his home country that he was expecting, would you still suggest going to somewhere like East Asia to maybe uproot and to just give it a shot and to just let everything loose in, let go of all of the shackles in their home country and give it a shot? And if so, do you have any advices for that kind of person who is planning on doing something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say go for it. But don't be naive about it. I mean, you're going into a completely new experience.
Don't be naive and stay with people that you've met.
That you've met on Xbox, yeah. Exactly. I mean, don't be naive in the fact that, I mean, it worked out for me, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out for you. Right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody has a different experience. I recommend it. Anytime you can kind of get out of your comfort zone and try something new, it puts a new perspective on things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be willing to try, more things than what you would have before and experiment with what you're looking to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always knew that I was interested in writing. I was an English major. I grew up reading a lot of books, and writing my own fiction, but I never had that opportunity to make something of it. And getting out of your comfort zone and going somewhere new kind of gives you that eye-opening perspective, I think. So I mean, even if it's Asia, if it's Europe, wherever it is, it's a good thing. And Asia especially, there's a lot of opportunity.
You wrote an article, I think it was maybe a month ago, and with regards to being kind of like advice for being the Western guy in China, and kind of making the most out of that experience. But I got the impression that you felt, I may be wrong, but I got the impression that you felt that the time for going there as a Westerner and having basically the world as your oyster, I had the impression that you thought that time had ended or was coming to an end.
Yeah, I haven't been there since 2007 now. So I mean, my time's a little bit dated. 5 years is a very long time in China, and I mean, I think it is what you make of it. I don't know if all the same opportunities are available to people now as they were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But I still do think that there are opportunities. But I think I said in that article that it is what you do with your time and how you prepare for it and what you're going to do. You can't just expect things to be handed to you.
Yeah.
That doesn't change between 2006 and now.
Or where you are.
That doesn't. If you go and you just expect things to fall in your lap, then you're not going to be as successful as you could be.
Have you got anything on the internet that you would like to plug to an audience of a handful?
No, not so much. Check out HuffPost Live, which is quite cool. When we do launch in Asia, when we do launch more international sites, I'd say keep an eye on those.
Cool.
I think our HuffPost World page is improving and starting to do pretty well. Hitman on Twitter.
At Hitman, I'll put a link to his thing here.
Cool.
Chris, thank you very much for
no
coming.
problem.
Cheers.
My pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for talking to me.
No problem.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See ya. Don't be naive about it. I mean, you're going into a completely new experience.
Don't be naive and stay with people that you've met.
That you've met on Xbox, yeah.
Exactly.